Hello everybody and welcome to the evening session of August 30th, 2018. Now I just wanted to show you something from last video. As you'll recall, last time we were working on implementing the tank into the game, and now as you can see, there it is. Look at that, it's so detailed. Yes, so right now all it is a block, and that's all it's going to be for a little while. I definitely have things coming up that will add improvements onto this, and of course eventually it will be a complete model, but at least for right now all it's going to be is a block. So before we get started, I wanted to show you I made some updates to the Trello board, the biggest one being that the this addition of this big steps board. These are the most important things that I'm working towards getting this game actually working. And right now that all has to do with getting the tank working in multiplayer. So load multiplayer with tank like block spawn and an initial spawn. That one we can archive now because that's done. And that's because that's working. Now we need to connect basic lateral movement from the keyboard to the tank. So what that means is that when you press your, in this case, W and S keys, or that'll of course be user configurable eventually, the tank will move forward and back in the world. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything else related to that task. That's all it has to do is move. It doesn't have to talk to the server or anything like that. Then we will connect rotation to the tank using our A and D keys, so that way you can rotate. So that way you can drive the tank essentially the same as if you were in a Battlefield game or anything like that. Then we need to connect the turret to the tank, and that will involve using the mouse, depending upon where it is on the screen, or potentially if it's locked, that's another option. If the mouse is locked or anything like that, then the turret will rotate as the player rotates the mouse. And then the camera will need to eventually follow the tank rotation instead of just being static like it is right now. As you can see right now, it doesn't follow the tank in any sort of fashion. It just sits here. I'll let it track the tank, but it's gonna stay at this angle until I implement that issue. And then there will be basic multiplayer support, which will involve communication with the server, and of course getting other tanks to communicate with this client as well, and then collision detection. And then that will essentially be most of what's required for the tank, besides an actual model being created. So moving on, let's go ahead and get started, and we will go ahead and get started trying to get this thing working. So we're still, let's look in the event handler. Also, today's session is going to be a little bit shorter. We're looking at just about an hour before I have to be elsewhere. So. Matter. So that essentially means, so in the multiplayer arena, yep, that needs to be in the actual player class. So those player controls are definitely going to come into play. It's in this old folder, but yeah, that'll definitely be a thing. So no this there's not really an object per se. I actually need to update that. So in the down event handler. I think we can just pass it. Document oh. Add listener. Where is it? Like, I know we're gonna have to expand this eventually, but this move. And this moving. It's also equal to false. Come on. Okay. So if the event dot code is equal to key oops, no, key w, and so if not moving backwards, see, because that can get a little goofy too. Then this dot moving forward is equal to true, and then there'll be some update. Else if the event dot code is equal to key s, no, yeah, key s, and then again same thing if this done moving forward, this done moving backward is equal to true. Yep. Okay. And then if the bedrock code is equal to key W, then this dot moving forward is equal to false. Else if the bedrock code is equal to key S, this dot moving backward is equal to false. Is it like, is it the renderer code? No. Okay, there it is. Game animation update and delta. So that's what we're looking for. On update. Okay. Not attaching it. It's in the multiplayer arena. Oh. What? Well, whatever. Anyway, so there we are. The reason why we need this, it's pretty classic development. So essentially what's going on here is the time between frames is not consistent. So because it's only checking to see if the key is down so many times. If it is down, then So because then if the key is down, then it needs to move forward a certain amount of space, but that space is going to vary and depend upon how long the animation frame is. So that's where that is. So that's where that comes from. So if this stopped moving forward, I handle this much better in player controls. So if this stopped moving forward, speed is equal to, I don't know. I think we'll try, yeah, how about 25? Because it's gonna need both X and Y. So or X and Z actually. So let move X is going to be delta times speed, and then Z we're just doing 0. Oh, oops. Event handler dot call event handler dot event dot what is that? Arena player update. Player movement update and movement data. We're just going to call the same thing here. Of course, there's got to be a negative in there. Movement update. Okay. And then not in game, in the scene handler. Oh, whoops. ID this dot ID. That's what it is, right? Yeah. So there's that. Scene handler. Dot start on player move. Player move. Data. If this dot layers.halves data.id. Well, that's stupid, because what I really need is the vector. Yeah. So then that means let mesh position dot add new vector 3 and data.x 0 data.z. That is what we're doing, right? Nope. Yeah. Okay. Cannot be property call of undefined. Callback is no. Dumb handler. Cannot read. And I'm lost. Well, there we go. Let's take that down a notch and switch the directions up, but yes, we've got it. So it's actually delta times speed, and that's 0. Okay. Speed, we'll do. Or 2. Yeah, that's actually not, well, yeah, 3. Alrighty. So now we have the real fun, which is actually making this intelligent. So this is going to be good fun. So the first thing we can do is connect basic lateral movement from keyboard to tank. That we can archive because we've gotten somewhere. So now we need to connect rotation to the tank. So that was, yeah, I would consider this a pretty big step forward. So now what needs to happen is when I hit A, like I am right now, the tank should start to rotate. And it will start to rotate regardless of where the player is. So oh God. Why do you gotta do that? Well, I guess we'll see. There's no pitch here, which is very nice. See, what this did is it put a yaw object, and then inside of that it put a pitch object, and then inside of that it actually has the camera. That's how this first-person controls works. So that's interesting. Oh boy. Oh God. I see complex math in my future. that's wonderful. Oh, actually just called rotate. There's actually a function on it. Okay, well, do that. Okay, so let movement speed is equal to 0 if this dot moving forward movement speed is equal to speed. No. Movement speed. Okay. Oops. Start moving backward. Movement speed is equal to negative player movement speed. Movement speed. Movement speed. Else we're going to return, because there's no point in continuing if this dot rotating is equal to false as well. Okay, how about this? If not this dot moving forward and not this dot moving backward and not this dot rotating, you can return. Because then immediately after this we have if this dot rotating rotation speed is equal to 0. Rotating clock. I'm going to regret that. Rotating left, really. Else if rotation speed. Also const rotations. I'll just try to. I honestly don't know what I'm looking at though. Rotation speed is Jesus. Rotation speed is equal to meh. So close. Whee! Look at that. Oh. Now we're going to calculate that here, I want to say. Because I really just want to keep that scene handler as basic as it can be. Like, there could actually be a lot of that posting code could actually be taken out of the scene handler into like a utility class or something like that. And I might do that. That actually isn't the worst idea. For now though, like even though it's not perfect by any means, like this does allow me to complete this connect rotation to tank. So, oh no, I can't. So we're not quite there yet, but we at least got some. We at least have something visible now that you can screw around with. So, or that I can screw around with, I guess, because yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. Really? Oh, it's because I'm rotated. Oh, damn. No, it's not. Really? Is that how it's always been? Oh, really? What the hell? Well, at least the way it is right now, I'm going to change that. All right. Well, I think that'll be it for this evening session right now. I've got a little bit of a evening planned ahead of me. So that'll probably be it as far as the coding goes. I might do a little bit more later tonight, but that won't be recorded as part of a session. So thanks for stopping by if you did, and well, which obviously you did if you're watching this. So I guess that's it for this time, and I will see you in the next one.